If overall your needs are being met and you're really happy in this relationship, it's about learning how to work around your partner and not trying to make your partner change who they are. Welcome to Therapy Explained, where we explain, demystify, and destigmatize mental health and mental health treatment. My name is Deniss. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and your very own mental health cheerleader. Today, we are going to be talking about healthy relationship habits. Now, as you know, I'm a marriage and family therapist, and for the past couple months, I've been completing the first 2 levels of Gottman therapy. And if you're not familiar with it, it is a therapy specified for couples and marriage. And it uses a lot of behavioral but also emotionally focused, trauma-focused interventions. It's really wonderful. The Gottman Institute is a well-renowned institute in couples and marital therapy. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link down below so you can learn a little bit more about it. But of course, because I've been doing the trainings and because it's February, I've got love and relationships in the brain. So I thought I would share with you some of the things that I've learned, not just in the training, but also as a therapist, that can help you build a stronger and closer relationship with your partner. Now, whether you've been with your partner for 3 days or 30 years, these habits will help you build a level of intimacy that will foster a closeness, a sense of safety, and will help you deal with any sort of stressors that might come down the line in your relationship. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into healthy relationship habits. Number 1, respect. Healthy relationships have at its core respect. Regardless of how you're feeling in the moment, if you're upset, hurt, feeling abandoned, rejected, misunderstood, respect is still at the basis of the relationship. You can always say, listen, I'm upset with you, I'm disappointed at this behavior, but in healthy relationships, that's where it stops. Healthy relationships keep from hurting one another intentionally, calling one another names, cursing at each other, and of course, any sort of physical aggression. Healthy relationships maintain a sense of respect throughout. There's no raising up the voice. There is a reduction in any intentionally hurtful or disrespectful behaviors. So try to keep that in mind, that even though you're upset with your partner, which you are absolutely allowed to be, what is important is to maintain a focus on the behavior and try not to escalate into disrespect between the two of you, because that's what starts to erode at the closeness and at the sense of safety within the relationship. Number 2, communication. Communication is key in every relationship, but particularly in romantic relationships. If you're looking to build a life with someone, then it's important that they know about it, that they know about you, that they know about your likes and dislikes, and that you're constantly communicating with one another about what feels good and what doesn't. And this goes across the board. Anything that might feel small to you is actually a big deal. Small things build up, and eventually we could run the risk of developing a sense of anger, irritation, or even feeling like our partner owes us something because we've been keeping count. So it's important that we share with our partner as things are happening, what is happening, maintaining that first point of respect. Letting them know, hey, this behavior, this activity, this thing that you do, this thing that happened was hurtful or made me feel forgotten about, made me feel unimportant. So communicate that to your partner. And remember that it's the behavior that is bothering you, not your partner, right? We're working off the idea that your partner really cares for you and doesn't want to hurt you. So if, for example, you're also wanting to care for your partner and love your partner, if you hurt them, wouldn't you want to know? So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and help our partners learn what we like about our lives and encourage them to tell us about what they like, what they don't, and about their life. Number 3, teamwork. Along with communication and respect is the idea that you are a team. that you are addressing things that are coming up for the relationship and for one another as a team. Now, there's different ranges on how much your partner can be involved if you're not quite into the serious part of your relationship yet, but as things are happening, addressing it as, hey, how is this going to affect our relationship? Any new jobs, promotions, big moves, big decisions, time off, traveling, all of these things. How is that going to affect your relationship? And keeping your partner in the loop, letting them know, hey, this is coming up. And that part applies to your relationship, again, no matter what stage you're in. Letting your partner know what's going on is important. Not because they get a say or they get to control what you do and don't do, but again, for the purpose of keeping them in the loop and letting them know, hey, it's you and me, we're a team. Whatever happens, we can tackle it together. And doesn't that feel nice? Before we move on, I also want to make a note that in teamwork, the idea is not you versus me. It's not your life and my life, but again, our life, our relationship, and us. How do you and I feel about this thing? Not that you have to feel the same way, but understanding, like, how do you feel about it? How do I feel about it? And how do we want to move forward? So it is this perspective of looking at everything through an us lens versus a you-me lens. Quality time. Healthy relationships spend quality time together. And this does not mean watching TV together. Quality time means actually spending some time getting to know your partner. Healthy relationships and partnerships tend to check in on one another. How was your day? What's going on in your life? What are your stressors? What are you celebrating? And it is also constant quality time. It's not once a year, twice a year, Valentine's Day and anniversary. It's consistent, if not daily, at least weekly. And this is what helps build that sense of intimacy and a sense of friendship. You've got each other's back. You're going to feel closer to that person because you know them. You know what's going on in their world and in their life. While you may share a life, depending on where you're at in your relationship, you still have separate lives. You're not together 24/7. And even if you are, your perspective of the day is still different. So checking in with one another is extremely important. Now, this can look any way that you want it to. You can make coffee and drink it together and talk, or go out for dessert and talk. But yes, talking is the key. This is that part of the communication. So quality time is wonderful, not time in which you're talking about bills or the kids or responsibilities or problems, but time in which you are actually getting to know one another. Number 5, acceptance. Healthy relationships accept each other for who they are. By this I mean understanding that perhaps your partner might run late often, and that's okay. Even if that's frustrating for you, if overall your needs are being met and you're really happy in this relationship, it's about learning how to work around your partner and not trying to make your partner change who they are. They run late every so often, so plan for it. What do you have control over in this situation? Maybe your partner has a really hard time communicating with you when they're overwhelmed. We want to encourage them, hey, let me know. Try to practice when you are feeling overwhelmed, letting me know. Maybe not being completely vulnerable, you two can figure out a way in which they can shorthand communicate with you that they're feeling overwhelmed. But once you've had that conversation, it's also important for us to understand this is who they are. They might get flooded and overwhelmed every so often and not be able to tell me. So maybe I can try to see some of the behaviors that can communicate to me that they're overwhelmed. Are they more irritable? Do they withdraw? Am I noticing that they're sleeping more or eating less? What do I notice when they're overwhelmed? And how can I show up for my partner? Because ideally in healthy relationships, it goes both ways. Our partner also understands the times that we struggle, and they try to show up for us when we need them. So this is, again, going back to that last point about teamwork. That's one of the most wonderful things about being in a relationship, is that we can co-regulate. We can show up for one another when we're struggling and prompt the other person, hey, I think you're overwhelmed. What could help? Let's go for a walk. Let's meditate. Can I give you a hug? And a lot of figuring out what helps the other person and what helps the relationship when it's under stress is the fun part. It's experimenting with one another. What do you like? What do you don't like? Let's try this. Let's try that. And that itself can also be such a uniting experience for the relationship, is in learning one another and becoming intimate and close. And this is also how you build that essential piece for all relationships, which is the essence of a friendship, that you have one another's back. And no matter what, you got this together. I hope that this video was useful and that you learned something and that you can put some of these things into practice. If you have another activity or habit that has helped you in your relationship, as always, leave it down below. Remember, we are a community and we're constantly learning from one another. If something popped up and you were like, oh my God, I do that, I just didn't know what it was called, or I've always wanted to do that and haven't done it, also let me know. I would love to engage with you more in the comments because it gives me more information about what you like and what is helpful to you. And really, that is what I'm here for at the end of the day. Before we say goodbye, remember that your cheat sheet is available to you on Instagram, so hop on over there to get access to it. But before you do, please give this video some love in any way that feels authentic to you. Every like, comment, subscription, and share helps spread the word about free mental health information and education, and of course, it is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, I'm always cheering for you.